What's up, good people? Welcome back to another episode of Undrafted Views. We're here. We talk sports from the sidelines. And in today's video, we're going to discuss all things Golden State Warriors. Let's get into it.
Golden State Warriors are currently 5-1, having won 5 of the last 6 games and are number 1 in the Western Conference. So happy to say that. Oh my God. Now, what do you make of their fast start out the gate? Should we be concerned? Maybe they're, expending too much energy, moving too quickly. What do you think about the Golden State Warriors so far?
I'm happy for them. I guess it's what most expected, that they would be doing very well. But, when we're considering how early it is in the season and what's to come as the season progresses, I don't know. I just don't know. I'm not saying I don't know because I don't believe they'll still be in the top 6. I do believe they'll be there. I just know that it's going to all be based on the health of Steph Curry. That's it. No more, no less. If Steph Curry is not on the floor for multiple games, the Warriors ain't gonna do nothing. I'm just, so no. The success of the Warriors rests on the back of Steph Curry.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine. Hey, the success of many teams rests on the back of maybe one or two players. So I understand that, but I'm just saying in this case for the Warriors, Steph Curry is the man. And when he's not on the floor, and we saw this in their loss to the Grizzlies, when he did not play for, several minutes because they couldn't get him in, and that 19 lead that they had was diminished by the Grizzlies and forced them to go into overtime. I'm just saying, when he's not on the court, what is the Warriors going to do? So,
okay. Well, right now, he's playing well. He's back to the old Steph. I mean, golly, averaging 30 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. He does need to take care of the ball more. He's averaging 4 turnovers. Got to watch that. But that's just because, he's a willing passer and he's willing to take risk when he's not shooting that 3 ball, which has been lethal this season.
Yeah, but what I want him to know is I go back to the Grizzlies game. I'm going to it's just one game. I get it, but it's just something to think about. When that 3 ball fails to hit, I want you to go ahead and drive it. Go ahead. Go on into the lane. Just go head on, Steph Curry. You are agile enough. You are flexible enough that you can just go on and try to get the layup, right? You, especially during crunch time, especially then. So when the 3 ball is hitting, shoot it lights out. But when it's not and you feel it, go on, drive to the basket. So I want to make those decisions. I think maybe had done that, perhaps they would have won the game without it going. Won a game, number one, and didn't need to go into overtime. So, but other than that, I mean, come on, you can nitpick anybody's game. So,
yeah, but for me though, if I would say I agree with you for every other player in the NBA, but with Steph, he gets so hot so quick, and he could miss for me like 10 shots in a row. I still want him to shoot the 3 ball just because he's Steph Curry. If it were anybody else, I would say, you know what? Yeah, you need to drive to the hole. Or you know what?
I only say that because it only works when we're at the top of the game, not when we're at the end of the game and the score is tight and the ball is going to be given to you. It's going to be given to you, and you have shot, maybe 2 or 3 threes that didn't go in. But at the end of the game, you still want to chance it. That's all I'm saying. So yes, I get what you're saying, and I agree with that. I just think it needs to be tweaked a little bit sometimes when we're talking about at the end of the game and the win is on the line. That's all I'm saying. So just something to consider. But again, Steve Kerr, when you who knew that when he took, I don't think Steve Kerr knew that when he took him out of the game for a minute rest or two, that the run that the Grizzlies was going to have him at the scorer's bench longer than he anticipated. Who knew that, right? So, you have to be ready for that.
Oh my goodness. Now, I'm not surprised that Steph is playing so well. I mean, he scored 20 points in 27 minutes in the last game. I mean, that's just lethal. Oh my goodness. This is the revenge season for the Golden State Warriors. I do believe that, having missed the playoffs 2 years in a row. Now Klay Thompson's return is like right there. It's so close that we can smell it and touch it. And I think it has given the team some energy, some extra life. Andrew Wiggins is finally playing the way that I expected him to play when they traded for him, averaging 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 assist. He's their number 2 scorer. Yeah. What do you think about Wiggins so far?
I'm glad he's back. I'm glad he's feeling comfortable. I'm glad that whole vaccination thing is behind him, and
Mm.
I'm glad he's in. And I think that this is the number one draft pick Wiggins that we've been waiting on for the Warriors. And so I agree with you. I'm glad he's back. I'm glad he's ready to play, and he's been able to make nice plays that have really helped the Warriors win games. So yeah, I like that.
Okay. Now, Draymond Green. I mean, Draymond's almost averaging a triple double, 8 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists. However, it would be so nice if we can get back to the old Draymond where he's shooting the three ball with consistency and he's actually looking for his shot and he's able to make them. What I have seen from Draymond Green so far this season and the little 6 games that they played season before, oh my God, it's like he doesn't even want to shoot the ball anymore. He's become a point forward. He's really their floor general.
And I'm okay with that.
Mm.
If your role has changed, we talked about this when we talked in our Heat discussion. Go ahead and watch that video as well. But PJ Tucker is one of them. So if Draymond Green is their point forward and he no longer wants to shoot the ball at a high clip, I am okay with that because the way he can facilitate the ball is what the Warriors need, and his defense is also very superior.
Yes,
So
it's nice.
I, if Draymond never shoots another basket, I'm okay with that. Because when he shoot the basket and it doesn't go in, I'm like, why even waste the energy? So yeah,
Mhm.
Draymond, you relish in the role that you've created for yourself, that the coaching staff of the Warriors have accepted. Now I know I heard Steve Kerr wants Draymond to, shoot more. And when you find an open shot, get it in. It's cute. It's cute when we're starting the game. It's not going to be cute at the end of games. So again, go ahead and be your point forward, the floor general, do all those things, defensive genius, do all of that, and I'm okay with it.
I'm not really thrilled with Looney right now. I am so waiting for James Wiseman to get back healthy so I can see what he looks like in this lineup because that's who they're going with. He's the future of the franchise. Once, Steph, Klay, and Draymond and all them move on, it's James Wiseman's team.
I hope so, but until I see it, Looney will suffice. Because even when James Wiseman comes back, it will be like preseason for him. He didn't complete the previous season. He's now coming back late, semi late in this season whenever he returns. And he's going to have to get his footing again, get used to the whole scheme and the whole strategy. He has not played a full season for the Warriors. So until he
No.
does that, he could be a risk. Now, if they're going to take that risk, take the risk now. Come back now, James Wiseman. Because if you're going to come back now because other teams that's supposed to be elite ain't doing nothing. So if you're going if you're going to get used to the game, get used to it right now. Because once mid-season happens, it's going to be too late for you to get used to the game because then the Warriors are going to be looking crazy. So, James Wiseman, I'm waiting for him. And then when he comes back, we'll see. But I still don't want them to just go full steam ahead with him. No,
Mm-hmm.
no, no, no,
Yeah,
no.
they'll sprinkle him in, I'm
They have
sure.
to.
Yeah. Now, Damian Lee has been great off the
I
bench. Oh my
know.
God, what a surprise!
Shocked. I can't, but I'm glad. I mean, when he was able to put up them three balls in the one game I was watching, I said, "Oh, okay, he hot tonight." Is that what we were supposed to be seeing? Because I'm telling you, last season I was not impressed. I was like, "Why is he?"
Mm-mm.
Ooh, I tell you, he got what is it called? The brother-in-law special. Like,
Ah,
I'm so
yeah.
glad that this season he seems to be proving that he can be an individual
Mhm.
player, and that he earned a spot on the roster outside of being a brother-in-law. So I'm
Right.
happy about that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's getting actually the most points off the bench. I mean, than anybody. I like Nemanja Bjelica. I like what he's doing. He's,
Mhm.
he's a big body who can, provide some offensive efficiency. I really like Otto Porter Jr. But I think he's a great pickup.
Yeah, yeah. You think their bench is better than the bench of the Heat, Miami Heat bench?
No, I don't. I think the Heat get more productivity from their bench than the Golden State Warriors.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Because they both the Heat and the Warriors both have a 5-1 record right now, and so I'm just curious about that because bench production becomes really critical when we get deeper into the season. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, yeah. So again, they still have Poole, they have Otto Porter Jr., and then they have the other guy. I can't say his name, so I'm not going to even butcher it. They have him on the roster as well. So yeah, I think it'll be. And they got Damian Lee, we just talked about. So yeah, they
Yeah.
got a pretty good bench. Pretty good bench.
And you got Iggy as well, back for a second stint with the
Oh
Golden State
yeah, I
Warriors.
forgot about him. Nostalgia. Okay, I got it.
Uh-huh. Now, Juan Toscano Anderson.
Yeah, I
He
forgot about
played a big role last season. It's been cut in half. Now that Wiggins is back and healthy and all that, I would like to see Steve Kerr give JTA a couple more minutes.
I can see it happening as the season progresses. Still think it's early, and I think the people that are running on all cylinders are still great. I think it is a great piece to have, a safety net to have, and that player, because if someone is needs to sit out for a game or two, that you'll still have some productivity that can come in and kind of relieve that deficiency that you may experience during that time if somebody's out. So you still need those types of players on your roster because you still hope that you hope that everybody remains healthy. But if somebody doesn't, you still want someone who can be efficient on the floor. So I think Juan
Hmm.
Toscano does that.
Yeah, yeah. And speaking of efficiency, now Jordan Poole, I'm a big supporter of Jordan Poole. I like that he's been able to kind of fill the gap that Klay Thompson's absence has had. Averaging 14 points, 2 rebounds, and 4 assists, has been in a little bit of a shooting
Mhm.
slump. I think he's 8 for 27 or something like
Yeah.
that. But he's a young player who's just sitting in right now. When Klay Thompson comes back, how do you see that impact in Jordan Poole?
Uh, it, in the long run, it will, but not initially. I believe he will still have substantial minutes in the return of Klay Thompson because I know Klay Thompson will be coming back with limited minutes. At least he should be. He hasn't played in
Mhm.
2 seasons. We're not talking about a season. Two
Ooh,
seasons off of two
yeah.
major injuries. They need to get him into the swing of things. And what you do in practice is not what you'll be doing when you are actually on in a real game. So I think that hopefully Klay Thompson will come back like his old self. Because what we don't want to see is a shell of himself. I don't want to see that. So he hasn't played in 2 seasons, and I hope he's really ready to get back in. And so, with that being said, I don't see Poole minutes may have a slight reduction because of Klay Thompson, but if they want to make sure that they ease Klay Thompson into the rigors of a full basketball game, then Poole should be okay. But I'm gonna need Poole to get out of that slump.
Yeah, he's in it pretty deep right now.
I
Now,
need
Klay
him.
Thompson is used to playing 34 minutes a game. That only leaves 14 minutes of
Yeah.
discretion for Steve Kerr to figure out, okay, am I gonna play Jordan Poole, or like who's gonna take up those minutes there?
It just depends on what Klay Thompson is able to produce. That's just what it
Hmm.
boils down to, right? And so we still don't know, it's still up in the air. If Klay Thompson can come back to his former self, then of course, yeah, Poole is going to be suffering in the long
Yeah.
run, right? But if it's
Mhm.
not, then you know that Klay can still play about 15, maybe 20, and then Poole can, take the supplement of that. So it all depends on Klay's production on how Poole's minutes in the game will be impacted.
All right. So right now, I like what the Warriors are
Yeah.
doing right now. Top of the Western Conference. I don't think many people had them number one right now. I know we're only 6 games in. This is like a real small, like sample, like
Small sample. Yeah.
small size.
Hmm.
Of course, they're gonna lose games. Now, one thing I have noticed is they haven't played any of the East Coast teams. East Coast teams come with a little bit more like oomph and punch, especially on defense.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see what that looks like. I mean, they've played the Thunder twice. They played the
Hmm.
Grizzlies in a loss.
Yeah.
Kings, Clippers, and Lakers.
Yeah. They
They
really
they
played
they were
nobody.
supposed, and the way the Clippers and Lakers playing, they're supposed to lose those games. Those teams are supposed to lose those games. So the Warriors are supposed to win. So yeah, we'll see. Again, I think they need to play more competitive teams that are really. I'm looking forward to seeing them play a current team in the East that is 1 through 6,
Hmm.
like them, right? So once we see what that looks like, then we'll know. Well, how I'm looking for the Warriors and Heat matchup. To be honest, I don't
Oh
know. I
yeah.
don't know when that's going to happen, but that will be one because I'm still questionable about the Warriors' defense. That's still a question for me.
It is. It's a big
Still a
question.
question for me, and I
Mhm.
know that defense is real. It can be it can make or break your win or loss. I mean, it's just it's necessary for the game. And when
Mhm.
you know it's necessary when you watch teams like the Heat play. It's like, oh, that defense is
Yeah. Stop it.
So
Now,
I'm worried about that.
when the Warriors won the championship in 2015, 17, and 18, I think they just outscored everybody. You know, they had Steph and Klay just lighting it up. Now teams can light it up with
That's what
them.
I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking
So that's not going to be enough.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Unfortunately, the Warriors do not have the only players that can shoot lights out. I'm just sorry, it's not the case anymore. It's not the case anymore. So if they don't come up with some type of defensive presence that's pretty solid, they're gonna struggle because some teams can go 1-for-1. Now, Steph Curry is still elite, even among all the other shooters in the league. Yes, but when we're talking about long games and throughout the games, Steph Curry, sometimes his three ball doesn't hit too. So don't let the other teams, 3-point, shooter, various 3-point shooters get the shot in, and you can't outshoot. You can potentially outshoot the Warriors at this point.
Yeah.
So,
and that's why I'm looking forward to Klay Thompson's return, because they always put him on the best offensive player on the other side. And he's able to, guys.
He was able to.
I still have faith that he can come back and do the same things that he's done.
I hope so.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Klay Thompson. All right, you guys, we're going to wrap up this episode on the Golden State Warriors. Make sure you drop down. Let us know what you think about them. What do you make of their hot start right now? And how will Klay Thompson's return impact Jordan Poole? Thank you all for watching. We will see you guys on the next one. But until then,
peace.
Peace out.